Good morning. It's my third weekend of actually recording myself because I swore I was going to try to put one video out a week, but we have a lot going on. We're going to finally finish the composter outside is finished, but the gates needed to be built, and I just wanted some makeshift gates, and you're going to believe the gates that he built. These are beautiful, but let me show you what we have going on in here. I have I had got a bunch of beef tallow from our cow, and this is the third rendering that I'm doing so I can get, you know, it purified and clean. And we're also making some soap here. So some loofah soap out of the loofahs that I had, but let's go outside. All right, we're walking out here. Hello, ladies. All right, I gotta show you this. I just wanted some makeshift gates, but he really built some really nice gates. I'm gonna turn my camera around so you can see. Look how nice these turned out. He went next level on those. I wanted him just to build something out of the lumber that we had here. They're not hung yet or leveled. He's gonna take the latches off of our old one and put it on here, but those turned out really good, Kev.
Thank you.
They look nice. That's gonna keep our dog and maybe the skunk out of there, but it's just gonna help a lot. Those look awesome.
Turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, they did. While he's finishing that, I'm gonna come in here and finish up. I need the beef tallow that I had rendered for my third time here. I need to strain. I'm gonna put it through some cheesecloth and let it cool so I can put it back in the fridge and let it harden back up. And then what I'm doing with these loofahs is, you can see I cut them, put a little twine around them. And my girlfriend gave me a bunch of goat milk that I froze. I'm not trying to make you dizzy. See that I froze here, and I'm gonna make goat milk and tallow soap. But in the meantime, I had ordered some melt and pour goat milk soap, and I'm gonna I'm melting some of that down. I'm gonna add a little bit of castor oil, tiny little bit, and I'm gonna do a eucalyptus and a peppermint in it, and then we're gonna just basically melt it all down, and then I'll add my oils, and then we're gonna pour it in here. So I'm gonna get that done. Then I'm gonna go outside today and get a bunch of stuff done in my garden. I'll take you along. Before I go outside, I'm gonna go ahead and strain all of this tallow. I had to let it cool down a little bit. It was pretty hot. And then while this is straining and cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and melt the stuff for our soaps. I already did a batch the other day and it actually turned out really good. I did a lavender one with the loofah soaps, and I'm just making them for us. And my daughter's gonna take a few. But I had been buying goat soap probably for the last year. I've been using it and buying it from a friend or from the farmer's market or whatever, but I was like, I need to start making my own. My girlfriend has goats, and so I got goat milk from her, and I had this tallow. It's been sitting in my freezer for I don't know, several months, and I wanted to I bought a book. I've seen several videos, but I bought a book on how to make. I wanted to do goat soap tallow because I've bought that before and I really like how that feels, and so I wanted to make my own. So we'll be doing that probably, I don't know, in the next week or so. Definitely making a big old mess here. I'm going to keep rendering this down until I kind of get rid of that. Well, there's no, you won't see any of the little floaties in it, and until you don't smell any beef. That's what I'm looking for. So you can see there's really not a lot of stuff left in here, but I still get a little bit of hint of beef smell. So I'm gonna let this cool. I'll put it in the fridge, and then I'm gonna render it again. I'm gonna clean up my mess, and then we're gonna start on the melt and pour. I'm gonna turn this on to low, and we're just gonna start melting this down. Once this gets completely melted, I will then add my oils, and we'll pour them into the molds. This is almost melted all the way down. Then I'll add in the castor oil, and I'm doing eucalyptus and spearmint, and then we're gonna pour it into our molds. We're just about there. I can still feel a couple little chunks. Okay, I'm just gonna add a few drops of castor oil, not much. Then I have my eucalyptus, a couple of drops of that, 5 or 6. This one takes forever to come out. This is the peppermint. All right, we're gonna mix this up and we're gonna pour it into our molds. All right, we're gonna try to pour this without making a mess. I don't wanna say it too loud because I know my luck. Smells amazing. I wasn't sure how much to melt. I just kind of guessed based on what I had. Eyeballing it. We're pretty darn close. This one might be a little shy, but that's okay. We're the ones who are using it, so. Here's how they turned out. This one was a little short, but that's okay. We're the only ones using them, so. It smells amazing. Now they just need to set up and I can pop them out of these molds. Before we head outside, I'm gonna show you all my seedlings that we started, I believe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it would be 2 weeks ago because this is my 3rd week recording. And I'm gonna show you how good they look. It's funny because I just bought seed starting mix, an organic one, and then I added my own worm castings to it. And in that worm casting must have been a ton of seeds from probably, I'm gonna say yellow pear tomatoes or my other smaller tomatoes, because I've had a bunch of seedlings pop up in there. So I'm assuming those are gonna be tomatoes. Most of them I'm cutting back, especially in my onion tray, but I'm gonna show you all my seedlings. They're not gonna go out anytime soon. Some of it probably in the next few weeks, I will put out into the greenhouse, but the rest of them, they're not going out yet. So I'm gonna show you those. I know I've shown you this already, but this is my seed station here. These were all of the onions, but you can see like these right here, those are not onions. I'm assuming these are gonna be tomatoes, but everything is doing really good. And I really, really like these trays with this super tall dome. See this light, this whole entire stand, each one has a set of lights underneath, and they're removable. You know, you can shift them back and forth, or you can pick whether you wanna do seeds, leafy greens, fruits, herbs, or even microgreens. But this has a little divot on top, and I like it because when I was first starting to grow the seeds, it literally fits closer to the seeds. Now that they're up, I have it up here, and I actually need to remove this dome since the majority of these have germinated. But here's what's funny too. The beets have all come up. Some of those are not beets. Probably more tomatoes. Over here, this is my kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, celery, and then on the back row, cauliflower, purple broccoli, regular broccoli, and that's supposed to be garlic chives. There's a few that you can see back there. There's one popped. Those gotta be tomatoes. Jeez. And down here, I have some sweet peas that have popped in the back, green onions. Those do not look like green onions. I swear there must have been a ton of tomatoes in there. But everything is doing really good in here. We are now out in the greenhouse, and you can see right here, I got this bed completely mended. I pulled out all of these water lines. I added 3 big bags of soil, plus all of the compost that I had sitting out there, probably 3 5-gallon buckets. I put that in here, added some fertilizer, and this bed right here is now ready to go with all of the seedlings that I am growing in the house. But I have to show you this. So I tried a different experiment out here with some flowers because they like the cold. You can see there's snapdragons here. Let me actually turn my camera around. Look at all of the snapdragons that are popping up. And I did sweet peas. And then I also did foxglove. And a couple of those are popping up too. So my little experiment worked. This is my next bed that I want to amend. I still have some broccoli in here. I've harvested the big heads, but all I have left are all of these little shoots. So probably in the next couple of weeks, I'm not in a hurry to get it amended, but I'll get all of these harvested. Back here, I have some cauliflower. A lot of my cauliflower I've not had good luck with because I think it's gotten so warm so early that it's tried to bolt. And then I also have Brussels sprouts back here, and they're doing good. And then I want to show you this. In this corner right here, I have oregano. I didn't realize that oregano, usually I always have it in a pot, that sucker spreads. So I am going to dig up a bunch of it and put it in small little pots. I did that already, you can see right there, and a bunch of just little small pots, and I'll give it to some of my friends or anybody that needs oregano. That definitely needs to be thinned out. And once I have all of this done, then I'll amend this bed, add some more soil, some compost. But let me show you what's going on in the other beds. This one I probably won't do for a while. All my lettuce is doing really, really good. I have some beets popping up back there. Also, I have spinach growing, and I have a whole new round of arugula right here. Let me see if you can see it. See all the arugula that has popped up? So I definitely don't want to do anything with this bed. I have plenty of other space to do other things with. Plus this arugula here is just about done. It's starting to get woody and thick, so I usually cut that back, give that to the chicken. So I'll do the same thing with this one once it's ready, but we still have plenty of time. And then let me show you my last bed. This bed right here also has, I believe, oh, actually these are Brussels sprouts. We're not going to be messing with these, but look at all the beautiful calendula that has popped up in here all around all my carrots. I have another Brussels sprout there. This is a broccoli, and it is about done. There's a few little shoots on it, so that's going to get pulled soon. This was a purple broccoli. I already harvested the head. Same on this. Back here, these ones I haven't harvested, and there's a bunch of carrots in between. So this one will also get done later too. I'm thinking at the end of the month. But I have plenty of other things that I can do in here while I'm waiting for everything in here to finish. I have a bunch of stuff outside that I can start working, getting some stuff cleaned up, and then I can do some of the stuff in some of my pots. Let me show you what I have going on in my pots. Look at my lemon balm. It's already starting to come alive. This was my feverfew from last season. It never flowered, so maybe this year it's going to flower. Right here is all of the little pots that I transplanted. I just dug up a bunch of that oregano and put them in here. Then I have two small little rosemary. Here's another pot of lemon balm. And then of course my hens and chicks that I need to get planted outside at some point. All my marjoram was in that one bed that I amended, but I dug it up and put it in this pot. And then I still have some sage and rosemary in this pot from last season. It actually did well in the greenhouse. I wanted to make some salsa, so I'm gonna take some of they're just diced tomatoes, nothing else in them but salt, just a can. I'm gonna throw them in the blender. These are my yellow chilies that I harvested and roasted from my garden last year, so I'm gonna find 3 good size ones and throw them in there. And then these are my jalapenos that I roasted also. We're gonna do 3 jalapenos. We like it spicy, so I try to find the bigger ones. I just went and pulled a whole bunch of fresh cilantro out of the greenhouse. I'll add a splash of vinegar to make it last. I don't know why I do. It doesn't last in this house. Then let me get the salt and pepper. We're gonna add our salt and pepper. Then all of our cilantro. All right, I got all the cilantro in there. We're gonna put the lid on, blend this up, give it a taste test. Look how pretty that looks. Let's taste it. See if we need to add a little more spice. I make this the same way every year, and a lot of times it tastes different. I think it needs to be hotter. blend this up. A lot of times too, that'll probably do it. A lot of times too, as it sits, it does get hotter. That's gonna do it. Ooh, that was good. Now it's a little spicy. Just like I like it. It's gonna make my nose run. I always just pour this in a quart jar. It stores good in there in the fridge, and then we eat it through the week. Fit perfectly. We're gonna eat a little bit of this, and then I'll just put a plastic lid on it. It'll go in the fridge, but look how beautiful that is. Ooh, those look nice. I started a bunch of coral vine seeds, and you have to start them in a wet paper towel, and they've sprouted, and I need some fine soil. So I just took some of my potting mix, my thicker stuff. It was actually from another pot, and I'm thinning it out, and then all this thicker stuff I'll just throw into my compost. But let me show you how cool this is when you sift all this out. Let me show you what you're left with. Look at this fine mix. So you could save money on potting mix, seed starting soil, by just sifting through your own. I'm going to use this little pot right here so I can get those transplanted. I'm going to keep them in the house under grow lights because they're not near ready to go outside, but I have a trellis I want to put them on this spring, and I thought if I get them at least planted, because they have sprouted, so I needed some potting mix and I didn't have any, so I thought this little sifter here would actually work really, really well. And then all of the big chunky stuff that's left, I'll just throw that in my compost. It's getting towards the end of the day. We're getting ready to go in and cook dinner. I got a few little things to do on the inside, but before I do and wrap this video up, I want to show you the gates. They turned out amazing, way better than I was expecting. So anyway, another project off the list this weekend, and see you guys next week. Look how awesome they turned out. It's Sunday afternoon and we're getting ready for dinner. I am gonna do some roasted potatoes. I actually just tossed these in olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic. They're gonna go in the oven at 375. I'm gonna roast them. I had picked a bunch of carrots, cut them up. I'm gonna give these a head start, and then I'm gonna toss in all of my broccoli that I picked from the garden, and then I'm gonna take you outside to the grill and show you the chicken that we're grilling. This is the last of our meat bird chicken. I'm so bummed. We have another batch coming in May, but this is gonna be so good. Thanks for hanging out with me this week, and we will catch you next weekend when we do some new projects.